everybody, it's Ashley here at Stacks in the City, and of course I want to say hello and welcome, and as always you all, thank you so much for taking time to listen. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you rate, comment, subscribe, and everything else to do when you're on YouTube and you got nothing else to do, you're living your best life. Okay, guys, so I want to do, as always, a homeownership series. I want to talk a little bit about homeownership, what it looks like, what it feels like, but I wanted to do 5 things that you really don't expect when looking for a home, when going through the homeownership process, when happening to the homeownership process. When I purchased my first home in 2016, I remember being under a whirlwind of information and papers and documents and signing and house hunting and all that fun stuff. Like a girl was lost. So it's gonna be 5 tips. I might come up with another, for funsies, why not? But here's gonna be my 5 tips of what you don't know about when it comes to the homeownership process. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, you all, homeownership is a whole lot of things to sign. You're signing things left and right. Honestly, y'all, I don't even know what I was signing. I think I signed, who knows? You're signing your life away. You're always signing something, you all. So there's just a lot of papers. Just be prepared to put your John Hancock on things. And nowadays, there's a lot of e-sign, electric signatures. So if there's a lot of documents coming your way, they're gonna sign it. Your real estate agent should be able to tell you exactly what you'll be signing. Of course, if you're that kind of person who wants to read everything for herself or himself, do that. I honestly didn't do that. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm reading. It's like pages of legalese, you all, that you're just signing away when it comes to buying a home. Number 2, they ask you the most random questions when it comes to mortgage signing. So when I first bought my home, they would ask me, of course, questions about my status, a job I had. They asked me questions about where I lived when I was 9 years old. I've heard people asking questions about their spouses. Like, you all, I've said this before, the homeownership process is 80% mortgage fund stuff, like mortgage things, and 20% house. So you're really not touring houses as much as you are going through all the documents, going through all the financial stuff, basically selling your soul away to a bank to prove that you have the financial means to buy a home. So in this case, this sounds bad, but in a way they kind of own you in a weird, that sounds bad. That sounds really bad. But in a weird way, they kind of are monitoring you during the homeownership process. So just know that they're going to be asking you a lot of random questions. You got to be prepared to ask them. Which leads me to number 3, which is they watch your checking and savings account like the plague. They are watching everything you do, every transaction. One time I moved $2,000 from my checking and savings account to another bank account. They called me and asked me where that money went and why. Most times when you're applying for a mortgage, you have to have a certain amount of money available in your account for a certain set amount of time. Basically showing them that you do have the financial means to pay whatever it is you gotta pay. So I was like, all right, but I moved some money and they called me and asked you all. So they are monitoring your accounts. They're monitoring what you have. You're giving them all of your financial information. So you have to make sure that whoever you give this information to, you trust. But it's, that was a lot. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That was the most. Okay, number 4. You gotta change the locks when you get to your new place. Maybe it's me. I didn't really know that. I guess I didn't think about it. But think about it. If you're looking for a home, you're house hunting, you're going in and out of all these places. And they're using the same lockbox, the same lock code, and the same keys to get in and out of your house. The first thing that you should do when you get your new home is to change the lock. So after you're done signing, there's a signing ceremony to officially make you the homeowner after you get a bid. You're sitting down, and then when you're done, they give you the keys. But those keys were keys that everyone had before. So if you're definitely one who errs on the side of caution, definitely make sure that you change the locks. I highly recommend that. So definitely change the locks. I didn't know about that. And my last thing I want to give you guys, my last tip is that it's very expensive. I would say that 10% of the purchase price you should have reserved for anything. So even if you're not putting a full 10% down on the home, there may be money that goes toward home inspections, which can be $300. Titles, taxes, and all that can be another $500. It depends on what your home is. There's a lot of extra fees. Even little things like furniture, little things like you want to do a housewarming, all those things cost money. I always recommend having 10% just available because you never know what comes up during this process, you all. It's not just about the down payment. it's deeper than that, y'all. There's a lot that goes into it that they don't really tell you about. So you have to make sure that you're very, very liquid. So, if you don't have the money, or maybe that's not, you want to keep some liquidity in your portfolio, definitely look at some home ownership programs. I know DC has a few. I think NACA is one of those. NACA.org is one of them that you can use. There's a couple in Maryland that people do use. They're down payment assistance programs. I personally didn't use them. I wish I did. But there's a lot that you guys can go for. But always have some money available, y'all. Don't necessarily depend on someone or another organization to be paying for everything for you. Just be careful when it comes to stuff like that. You all, my last tip goes, and this is like a little bonus. You all, I didn't know anything. I did so much research when it came to the home ownership process. I did everything, like everything right. I did my reading, and I looked for real estate agents. I looked for mortgage people. I looked for everything. I knew the process, but y'all, I was still confused. I still had no idea what I was doing, but I kept doing it. I kept going. I kept trying. I kept working toward it, and it worked out. In the long run, it definitely worked out. So you all, even if you have no idea what you're doing when it comes to the mortgage process, the home ownership process, it's okay. Nobody knows. Even when I was signing papers, I was confused. I'm not going to lie, you guys, but I learned as I went along. If I were you all, the first thing I would do is to find a real estate agent, ask a friend who owns a home, and just see who they met. If not, just start calling around. Y'all, I live in DC. DC has oodles and oodles and noodles of real estate agents and people who are out here trying to get this coin and trying to get these houses right. You have to be one of those people just to reach out to them, and they'll tell you. They're pressed, y'all. Trust and believe. They are PRESSED. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you will learn as you go along, you all, I promise. And of course, you all, research is great. The Bigger Pockets book on real estate investing is great. There's a lot of blogs and other fun, great, amazing things available on YouTube that I recommend, and on the internet. So definitely take advantage of that, you all. The homeownership process is definitely daunting. It's cray-cray, it's a lot. But you all, the hardest part is deciding that you're going to become a homeowner and making it happen. That's the hardest part. It's always the first part. All right, guys, it's Ashley of Stacks in the City. As always, the usual, rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys are thinking and what else y'all want to hear. Like, I love talking about homeownership and all the things money, but let me know. Anyway, all right, you all. It's Ashley signing off. Stay amazing, stay fabulous.